contradicts our natural heritage approach, Chairperson. I want to stop there because I think I've said more than a mouthful to allow the CEO to close on the responses.
Thank you, Chairperson and members. Thank you for the questions because it challenges our thinking, our current thinking in terms of our turnaround strategy. And I must say some of the issues that were raised or recommendations by the committee are issues that we are looking into. And considering the fact that, when you start the plan, you have to wait to see its results. And we take note of the inputs, and we really appreciate that. I thought, honourable members and Chair, to deal with the issue that is critical in terms of the different stakeholders. And a question was posed, I think it was Honourable Mokgoto, in terms of who are you engaging with? The Chair covered the NDT, and I would like to indicate that through those engagements we found funding. And perhaps it's important to indicate to the committee that in terms of the DSEC grant, which needs to carry us in terms of our operational expenditure, and chief amongst those include compensation budget, covers only 35% of all our expenditure requirements. And 65% comes from the ferries that you are seeing, comes from the curio shops that you are seeing, comes from marketing in terms of their initiatives, precisely in terms of making sure that all our programs are marketed so that we bring guests, because we also have the guest house, which we are currently using in terms of accommodation. There's also conferencing facilities, which the committee and colleagues will see when we go to the island. So these are some of the things that we're trying to sustain ourselves. And if we didn't think outside of the box, we wouldn't be here. As we know, COVID taught us, and also the fact that the sector is recovering. And I'm pleased to report that during COVID and post-COVID, we were having less than 100,000 visitors, which is, unheard of, because the maximum number that we had, which was in 2016, was over 300,000. We are now sitting at 240,000, which means we've recovered. And we also adopted what we call a recovery plan immediately when this executive joined in. And we had to just deal with simple things such as, customer relationship management issues, how you deal with complaints, because if you remember, the media was flooded with negative comments, boats are late, boats are cancelled, and as you might have noticed, that has reduced. And also, the City of Cape Town, Honourable Member Mokgoto, is part and parcel of the initiative in terms of the integrated disaster recovery or risk management plan that we spoke about. The trucks that you saw there are from the City of Cape Town. So otherwise, if we didn't have these partnerships, we wouldn't be able to carry all these costs. And perhaps lastly, the whole issue of communities. Through our heritage and public programs, we target designated groups around Cape Town and beyond, the Boerkaap and all these areas, in terms of our winter school, or rather spring school, which we are now planning to have an all-round annual program, because if you say spring school, then you're accessing them only within a particular time. And we know that we need to be all over in terms of the integrated development planning, in terms of local government and other spheres of government. And there was a question in terms of, I think, sustainability, in terms of the going concern. Perhaps the first thing that one needs to talk about is the different spheres of government and their responsibilities. Two, the role of, for an example, in terms of a Schedule 3A public entity.
Excuse me, CEO.
Yes.
I'm not sure whether you're also part of those that will be going to
Yes,
us
I am.
to the island.
Just the last one, Chair. This
Okay.
one on sustainability.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So the point that we want to indicate is that we are through the different stakeholders, one of them being NDT in terms of what they call the Tourism Infrastructure Grant. We did get funding and will continue, as the Chair said, the previous minister committed. But also, we've increased our targeting in terms of the numbers that must go to the island in the current financial year. We are planning to move from 240,000 to 300,000. And of course, part and parcel of that are the product offering review, which we are currently doing, diversifying, targeting each and every market segment, because if you've noticed, we've been targeting adults, no kids that are, other than these programs. So these are some of the things that we are embarking on. And as the chair has said, just watch the space. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really am worried. It's 12:45 and we're supposed to be. So I think we can continue with the conversation even when we are in the boat and even when we are there, when you are showing us.
You to hold some of your sessions on the island.
We'll definitely do that.
Yeah.